Hello and welcome to Dice and Bolts. I would say good afternoon, but it's a little bit grim and grey outside. Not particularly nice. In this video, I'm going to go do a quick once over of the mechanics behind the Legend of the Five Rings role-playing game from Fantasy Flight Games. This is the latest version of Legend of the Five Rings. I completely forget who originally brought it out. Was it AEG or Alderac or one of those companies, where it used a roll and keep system using a pool of 10-sided dice with exploding successes on zeros. It was a good system at the time, and Fantasy Flight Games got the license for it, and of course they redid the rules and they used custom dice because it's FFG and this is the way that they roll. But they still kept elements of the original game, and the dice that they've got look like these. There's only 4 symbols to remember, so it's possibly a little bit simpler than the narrative dice engine that they used in Genesis and the Star Wars games and so on. And the big thing is that there are no negative dice and no negative or outright negative symbols. So you have a difficulty number, so you'll need a certain number of successes to achieve what you need to do. Normally 1 or 2 successes, 3 is quite tricky, and 4 is doable with a little bit of leverage. And the symbols on the dice that we have are the 2 different dice. The black 6-sided dice are ring dice that you get from your stats, which are named after the 5 rings, earth, air, water, fire, and void. And the white dice are skill dice that you get from ranks in skills that you have. The symbols that we have are a single swirl of a success, a multiple swirl for an explosive success, which means you get to roll and keep an additional dice of the same size. We have Lotus Blossom for an opportunity, and we have the little flame symbol. There's no just flame by itself, but I'll try and find one. There's a little flame burst symbol on that one there, if we get it to focus or not, which is what's called a strife. The way it plays is that your stats or your ring determines how many black dice that you roll, and your skill determines how many white dice you'll roll. So if we are going to be striking at a peasant, we may have 3 dice in the ring that we're using, and they're not stats, they're approaches. So melee combat, for example, there isn't a strength one. You've got the earth ring, which is a very grounded stance towards it. You've got the fire ring, which is very aggressive. You've got the water ring, which is very adaptable and fluid, and so on and so forth. And you can use any ring for any action, which is quite a flexible one. It's quite a narrative thing behind it. So say we're going to be nice and aggressive. Our fire ring is 3, and we have 2 ranks in melee combat with swords. Fairly straightforward. We will roll these dice, and we keep up to 3 of them. Well, we keep 3 of them because that's what our ring score is. So we roll on that, and the difficulty number on a combat roll is 2. So we only need 2 successes. So this is quite a good roll off that one there, because we're getting to keep 3 of these dice. We'll have those 3 there. No opportunities, but we've got 3 successes, one of which is explosive. We roll and keep another one, which is another explosive success, and that's an opportunity on that one. So that is actually 4 successes, which is probably going to be a good critical strike. The ruffian will be struck down, and very probably, given the way that kind of minions and NPCs go, probably dead. Probably dead. Gets a little bit funny if we say, okay, if we're not quite so skilled, we'll have that one there. So we've still got 1 rank that we can call on. We'll take that there. But we're still going to be keeping 2 of these dice. Now, we've got 2 successes, but these also come with 2 strife points, which are the little flame things, which means that we're going to hit not quite as hard as we did beforehand, but we're going to hit, but we are going to have that strife, that internal conflict that comes with being a good samurai and the heart of all samurai drama. Strife would then build up to a certain level. You'll then kind of break. There are things that you can do to bring it back down again, but it's a wonderful mechanic for kind of determining how calm and composed you can keep yourself. But that's a subject for a different video. There's the dice and bolts of it. A pool of dice based on approach, your elemental ring, and skill. Roll and keep a number equal to the elemental ring that you've used. You want a certain number of successes. You can keep dice which have successes but have like a negative side effect on them. These opportunities, if you keep them, can be spent on various environmental things, including removing strife on that one there. There goes the dice and bolts of it. Roll well, and I will see you around.